Hi, my name's Adam Winnig, and in this video series, I'm going to transparently document my journey to getting funded $500,000 with prop firms. But the catch is, I'm going to attempt to do this without losing a single dollar to prop firm challenge fees by 100% hedging my account, making an almost infinite risk to reward trading opportunity. I'm going to be using an incredible algorithmic trading solution that we've been working on for the past 4 years and dumped over $2 million into creating, and a unique trading philosophy that we call prop farming that's now helped over 750 people become funded traders. Warning, this is an experiment, so I may succeed and I may fail miserably. Okay, so in this video particularly, I've got a lot of cool stuff to share with you because we did in fact do it. We got funded $500,000 worth of trading capital now. And what I want to do in this episode particularly is share with you what I learned throughout this experiment and this process, and then also show the results and also show you my plan moving forward. Okay, so like I mentioned, we've successfully been funded $500,000. I'll pop up my certificates on screen. Some are in my name, some are in my fiance's name. And then the last one is this phase 2 on FXify that has already hit the 5% profit target, and I just need one more minimum trading day, and then this will be the 5th and final funded account, which I should receive their certificate tomorrow. So in terms of getting funded the 500K, I did it without ever having to take a single manual trade, using TitanX and using this hedging process that we've talked about. If you're not familiar with, then go back over to episode 0 so you can understand what the strategy was. But did I accomplish it without losing a single dollar to prop firm challenge fees? And the answer is no, I did not. And part of this was due to my own human error of setting things up wrong. And if we look at to all of the challenges that I've lost, which there were a fair amount of them, I lost a total of $973, which is really pretty good because this is like the cost of 2 challenge fees, and I was able to get funded $500,000. So I'm pretty happy with that, but it should have been a lot less than that. So I made a couple mistakes early on, just manual user error. You can see here on this failed account with the 5%ers, I actually lost $621 when I wasn't supposed to, just because I forgot to set up the hedge bot and I didn't do that. So I ended up losing money because I didn't hedge, quite frankly, because I forgot to set it up. And there was one other time right here where I lost $120. And this was because I missed the first 2% from hedging. So this was, again, manual user error. So if I were to subtract 620 plus 120, that's 740 from this. I mean, I would have lost a total of like $230, which is, I mean, even though I failed the experiment, still pretty incredible seeing that I was able to get funded $500,000 worth of trading capital by only losing $230 to failed prop firm challenge fees. I'd say that's a massive, massive success. And just looking at timelines, I really kind of started taking prop firm challenges quite consistently around March 5th with FXify, and it's now May 27th at the time of this recording. So it took a little over 3 months to build this up to the point of getting funded $500,000, which is pretty good. And this is one of the things I'll talk about later on about what I really learned of how I would speed this process up and how I'd actually increase my funded rate. Now, looking at specific numbers. So here we can see that on phase 1, I failed 12 phase 1 challenges and I passed 10 phase 1 challenges, which gave me a phase 1 pass rate of 45%. And then on phase 2, I failed 2 phase 2s and I passed 5 phase 2 challenges, which gave me a phase 2 pass rate of 71%. And then overall, my funded rate is 32%. Now, some of you guys may look at this 32% and gawk at it and be like, oh, well, Adam, you're not that good of a trader. Your trading system's not that good. And I really highly doubt that many of you have a higher funded rate than 32 or 33%. Granted, the average person that takes a prop firm challenge, only like 6% of them actually pass and get funded. And if we take a look at the very top 0.001% of traders, I talked about this guy before, and I'll try to include a screenshot if I can remember to, but there's this guy, Pascal. He's one of the best prop firm traders. He's been paid out like over $3 million or something crazy like that. And he was very transparent about how many challenges he took and how many times he was actually able to get funded. And his funded rate was about 29%. So I was able to match his funded rate, which is like the top 0.001% of traders. And I didn't have to take a single manual trade. So for me, I'm pretty happy, and I also didn't have to spend any time staring at charts and making decisions about when to actually enter trades or exit trades. Now, one of the things that we did notice when we started this experiment was that some of the times the Hedge bot would not recover the amount that I wanted it to recover. So let's say, for example, there was a $500 test fee, okay, and we wanted to recover that full $500. Sometimes it would only recover like $450 or something. So I'd lose $50 on that. So about midway through this, we made some updates to our Hedge bot to get it to dynamically adjust to try to be exactly the amount as the recovery amount. And so that was kind of like midway through this journey. We did make that adjustment. And so now we're seeing that the Hedge bot is even more accurate. So if you put $500 as the amount that you want to recover, we're getting a lot closer to that $500 recovery amount. So anyways, this is great and all for me, but what did I actually learn throughout this experiment? Which I think is the most important thing. If you're somebody that's a customer and you're watching this, here's a few things that I learned that you could use to even have better results than I did potentially. Now, obviously I can't guarantee that you're gonna get the same results, but here's what I learned. So first things first is that simply setting up the challenges and taking challenges using this system is your edge. And if you've read the book, Trading in the Zone, then you need to execute the edge or the plan flawlessly, and you need to execute it instantly. And so really what I learned throughout this process is that you need to be constantly taking prop firm challenges, okay? Because some are gonna fail, some are gonna pass. And by the way, I forgot to mention that I've already received 3 payouts from my funded accounts. Another thing I'll talk about later on. But bottom line is, in my opinion, if you really want to have a lot of success with this, you need to be taking prop firm challenges regularly, 1 to 2 per week. Now, I got up and I started taking 2 per week, which I think is really great if you can afford to do it. This is going to just simply get you to your goal faster. We have one of our success coaches on our team. His name is Prit, and he does anywhere from like 3 to 5 challenges per week. And this guy is just crushing it. He has like over $2 million, I believe, in funded accounts at this point. And so really the speed and the amount of money that you can make with this process is directly correlated with how many challenges you're taking on a regular basis, and also what size account are you taking. Now, I also did an interview recently with another customer of ours. His name was Zach. And as soon as I showed him this HedgeBot concept, when we first started coming out with this show like 3 months ago, he really got excited about it and he saw the vision with this. And he was basically able to get funded $1 million worth of trading capital. And he did that within like 3 months. And the reason he was able to go even bigger at the same time period than I did is he was just taking more challenges. I think he was taking like 3-4 a week, and he's been able to scale it, pretty big up until this point. Now, the next thing that I learned is that it takes time to build. If you're starting completely from scratch, you have no funded accounts, okay, it's realistically going to take you probably 2 months before you get your first payout, or up to 3 months until you build this critical mass of funded accounts that you can start withdrawing from on a regular basis. And I kind of have likened it to the process of a train to get moving, right? It takes all of this energy and all of this steam to get this train up and moving, if we're thinking of an old school train, right? Not a Japanese bullet train, but it takes all of this momentum and all this energy to get this thing actually to start moving. And then once it's actually moving, then it's just kind of coasting, and it takes a lot less energy to keep this train moving. And so it's kind of the same thing. What I've noticed here is that it does take energy and time to set up these challenges, purchase the challenges, and go through the process to actually get the funded accounts and build up this critical mass, which you can then start taking regular withdrawals from. And up until this point, it's taken me 3 months. And so I've thought, hey, is this actually worth it? And, now I'm at this point where I have a good amount of assets under management. I've started to make some regular withdrawals and things are chugging along. And so the whole business in of itself is profitable, and everything from here is just profit, and I'm just going to grow my assets under management to make more profits. Okay, a few other things that I learned is these prop firm challenges, they pretty much always have discount codes. So you can get anywhere from 10% to 20% off. So make sure that when you are taking prop firm challenges, you are definitely using the discount codes. And if I'm just to average out, my 100K average challenge fee, it was only $372. which is a lot cheaper than, what they advertise on their site, normally around $500. Now, another thing that I learned is that if you have the option to upgrade for bi-weekly payouts right here instead of monthly, definitely do it. So for literally 5% more, I'm able to get bi-weekly payouts. Some of the accounts that I already got, I didn't do this upgrade, and I'm only able to get a withdrawal once per month. So I basically will make my profit target, and then I have like 30 days until I'm able to actually withdraw that money and to be able to take another chance at making profits. And so I definitely would recommend adding this on if your prop firm offers it, because you can potentially make twice as much money in literally the same amount of time. And ultimately, it doesn't matter if you're hedging right. You should be able to lose a challenge or fail a challenge and hedge this money back. And so that way you don't actually lose this money. Next thing that I learned is it's very, very important to stay organized. This spreadsheet was a real game changer. It was very helpful to allow me to stay organized. But at some points, I was running like 6 to 8 different challenges, maybe even more, maybe 9, all at the same time. And so it's really important to stay organized because you have all these different things going on and you want to make sure that you're taking a look at them once a day. So this spreadsheet really helped me stay on track. And maybe if you guys want this spreadsheet or a copy of it, I can include it. Just let me know in the comments below if you want that. Next thing that I learned is to do a daily check-in, because if you're doing this process and you're taking 1 to 2 per week, you're going to start having several challenges running at the same time. So in the morning, I would do a daily check-in. It would take me literally 5 to 10 minutes. I would scroll through, look at all of my accounts on my different VPSs, just to get an update of where they're at. I check to make sure that the hedging is working properly. And then also if I passed or failed, I'd log it onto the spreadsheet. And then also I'd know if I'd passed or failed, so that way I could start a new challenge or I could move this one on to phase 2. Now, throughout this process, the one thing that was tedious was the whole process of setting this up. Granted, it wasn't that tedious. I timed myself, and now I was able to get it down to about 10 minutes to setting up TitanX and the Hedge bot and everything per account, but still, it was just like a little annoying process, right? I guess it's worth it, but it's just something that you have to do. So we are making some advancements to make TitanX and the Hedge bot even easier and faster to set up. So that should be done within the next couple of weeks. So that way this process even should take less time. Now, the second advancement that we're making is we're making another advancement to our Hedge bot that came from one of our success coaches named Prit. And it's insane what this Hedge bot is going to be able to do. Basically, normally, if you were to execute this plan, if you were to pass a prop firm challenge, right, then you would lose money on your actual personal account or your hedged account. But Prit's engineered a way where there's opportunities or there's chances that even if you pass the prop firm challenge, you won't lose any money on your hedged or personal account, which is just insane. And ultimately, if you fail the account, you'll still make back the recovery amount on your personal account. So this is going to make the Hedge bot even that much more powerful, where the chances are, if you're using this in, say, a couple weeks to a month down the road, then the chances are if I were to redo this experiment, then actually my lost amount that I lost on failed challenge fees would actually be a positive number, which is kind of mind-blowing. Okay, and the next thing that I learned was that kind of like toward 3/4 through this experiment, maybe 2/3 through this experiment, we made a big update to our leaderboard where now we're able to see the overall pass rate over the course of a year. So you can see, had you taken a prop firm challenge, started a new one every single day throughout the course of the last year, you would have passed phase 1 62% of the time. And so this was a major advancement. This one you would have passed 70% of the time. And generally what I'm looking for now is I'm looking for strategies that have passed more than 90% in the past 12 weeks and over 70% of the time over the past year. And this has actually made a significant difference in the success that I'd had. As you can see here, I started kind of cold with a lot of fails. And as I made this change in my criteria, I started passing a lot more consistently. As you can see, the pass rates have been a lot higher later on. And just for an example, this has passed 94% of the past 12 months. And just as an example, this has passed 94% of the time over the course of the last 12 weeks and 81% of the time over the past year, which is pretty dang incredible. So based on the data that we have, I believe that my funded rate would have been a lot higher than 32% had I been doing this the entire way. And I have more data to support this. This is our white glove service team, which basically our team is just setting up challenges for people that are our customers. And they have a lot more data than I even have because they're doing this for many people, but you can see their funded rate is about 42.74%, which is like 10% higher than mine. And the reason being is because this entire time they've been using this criteria where they're looking for high pass rate over the course of the past year, which I wasn't doing at the beginning of this experiment. Hey, and by the way, if you'd like to use this exact same system that we're talking about, then go on over to www.propfarming.com. We're going to set you up with a Titan Narrow AI. We're going to set you up with a leaderboard, the Hedge bot, all of this stuff. And we're going to set you up with a real professional algorithmic trading coach that's going to be walking you through this one-on-one. Okay, so all of this is great so far, but what's the plan actually moving forward? And how am I actually going to turn these funded accounts into money? Like I said, I've gotten 3 withdrawals up until this point, and here's my plan moving forward. So my plan moving forward on my funded accounts, I'm only going to go for a 2% profit target. Now, my first payout, I'll go for 4%. And then anything after that, I'm going to try to preserve the account as long as possible and just go for a 2% profit payout. Now, ideally every other week, if I've upgraded to the bi-weekly, or if not, then it'll be once a month. But now I'm going to be only taking challenges where I can get a payout every other week or bi-weekly. Okay. So the game plan here is I'm going to continue to take 2 challenges every week, 2 new challenges every single week until I get to $1 million worth of funding. Now, once I've gotten to $1 million worth of funding, I'm still going to take 1 new challenge per week because I understand that part of this game, eventually I'm going to lose some of these funded accounts. And so I always want to have new accounts that are being farmed, that are in the process of actually being passed. And I think that that should be sufficient since I already have a lot of funded accounts and I expect my funded rate to be even higher. So I do expect to get more funded accounts faster. And my ultimate goal with this $1 million in funded accounts is to make 2% per month. 2% times $1 million is $20,000 per month. That's my goal. I'm in the process of moving out to California. Things are a lot more expensive there. And so my goal is with the prop farming process to basically pay for my new house, pay for kind of all of my living expenses. And that's the game plan. So this isn't the end of the show. Periodically, I'll give you guys an update. Maybe once I get to the $1 million funded accounts and then kind of how I'm doing with trading the funded accounts. I'll make sure to give you updates every once in a while. And hey, if you have any questions about this entire process, then make sure you watch episode 0 so you understand the whole strategy. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below.